Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to play some Aurora 4X. And let me just get settled in here. Make sure everything's okay. I think we're good to go. So, in our last stream, we kind of ran into a bit of a bug. We kind of crashed the game. Actually, a first for me in Aurora C#. So I was playing a campaign in 1.8 point something. And so I lost a bunch of playtime, and I didn't want to kind of go back and replay that stuff. So we decided to YOLO it and take our fleet and go say hello to the aliens. And we did that with some success. We learned some useful lessons, and now we're going to start a new campaign. So I've gone ahead and updated, and this is now game version 1.9.4. Which has been, like the 1.9s have been around for a little bit now, so it's pretty stable. So we're going to see if we can pull off a long campaign with this version. Hello, Joaquim Tobias, and welcome. So let's get this started. I haven't done anything in this version yet. We're going to go and do everything together. So we're going to do a new game. I'm going to call this 194 campaign, just so I can find things easier. Okay, so we're going to keep things default here for the most part. Let's not do known star systems. This is something I want to test. I'm not 100% sure on if there's still a buggy interaction between this starting NPR race distance and not having known star systems. So we're going to test that out. But I like this idea of having an NPR that's around from the beginning, just doing its thing, probably out-teching you. But yeah, everything else is going to be, we're going to keep this as default. Let's create this game. So, okay, race title. So this is going to be, we're going to do a conventional start this time. We're not going to do an advanced start. And I'm going to base this thematically on a written playthrough, and I think I might have recorded a bit of a playthrough earlier I did, where I called the nation the Directorate. And the idea was, so let's see, this would be, this would be the, and yeah, so let me tell you, I guess this is a good moment to explain how I've been streaming the game a lot, but it's been mostly to just kind of play around and fool around with designs with, C#. Now I'm kind of more comfortable with the mechanics, so I want to start playing it how I usually like to play the game. And what I usually like to do is to really try to come up with a sort of RPing it. So it's to come up with a background story for this, like a setting, right? Like, so imagine, pick your favorite hard sci-fi setting, right? Maybe it's like sort of Kim Stanley Robinson's kind of universe, or like The Expanse, for example, is a good, pretty consistent universe, or whatever. It could be Star Trek, whatever you want, right? And base the decisions and how you're going to behave as a civilization on that feeling, right? So, for example, you can do things like what if mankind became sort of like dominated by mega corporations in the future, and you weren't so much like a United Nations, but just like a gigantic corporation that was effectively in control of the human race. What will be your motivations to expand, right? Maybe it's the acquisition of wealth, the acquisition of TN minerals, so that's your priority, right? Maybe it is a sort of militaristic empire that's expansionist and that wants to go conquer alien races. Whatever it is, maybe you're kind of, we tend to often, most people play as a sort of very default kind of Star Trek pacifist Federation type, and that's also very interesting. So the notion for the directorate is and you know what I did? I left the game started in 2025 accidentally again, but that's okay. We can make it happen. So the idea for the directorate is that in the near future, a series of actually, I had a few different versions of it, but the version that we're going to go with is that in addition to all sorts of calamities that we befall upon ourselves, in let's say the first half of this century, there is an asteroid impact on Earth, which not because we don't quite have the technological ability to deflect it or to mitigate the impact, but because honestly we just don't have our shit together enough to do it. Like, there's, at the time when this happens, there's too much there's lack of trust and cooperations between the major powers on Earth, and people don't trust that this is sort of a natural disaster. Like some coalitions blame others, think that it's like another group that's trying to do this, right? And nobody is able to pull together until the very last minute when, the world's nuclear arsenal is sort of released upon this asteroid, which makes it so that we don't go extinct, but, huge population loss happens nevertheless. There's a long struggle to recover afterwards, and the global sort of, I don't want to use the word government, but organization that takes over becomes known as the directorate. And the idea behind this, now actually, I'm just going to create this, but we're going to cancel this right now because this is not, I'm going to reset the game start time because I want to play this correctly. So hang on, let's do this again. We're going to do a new game. Okay, this is going to be 194. Okay, so starting year. So this is going to start. So here's my made up history, right? In the 2020s, 2030s, there's increasing problems with weather control, plagues, droughts, climate change still not being addressed. A lot of turmoil leads to not quite world war, but, heightened tensions across the world. And then in the 40s, let's say in the early 40s, we detect an asteroid that's probably heading towards Earth. There's a couple of years where we could do something about it, but nobody trusts the other, superpowers to do anything about it. Some people think, there are conspiracy theories that it's actually one of the human superpowers that's behind this thing. There's some weird readings from the asteroid, some unknown materials that seem to be detected on its surface. And so this is my way of introducing the sci-fi of TN elements here, right? So people get even more suspicious, right? They think it's because somebody's developed some secret technology. Anyways, by the 2040s, people still haven't quite figured out what's going on. And only at the last minute, when people finally realize, well, shit, we got to do something about it. Nobody's willing to launch their nuclear arsenal at the asteroid, because then they would be without their nukes and the other superpowers would be able to, exert control over them. So nobody wants to shoot first. At the last minute, people shoot up, and it's kind of enough to save the human race, but barely, right? So this is basically what explains that we're down to 500 million people on Earth, by the way. This is, you always have to come up with a reason for that. So that's what I wanted to change there. Now, part of the reason I like this scenario is because it introduces an element of paranoia, which I'll explain in just a moment here. So this is going to be the Terran Directorate, okay. And this is going to be a conventional start. Although I think it's going to be conventional, but we're gonna start a little bit. We're gonna accelerate the conventional start a tiny little bit here, but not much. You'll see. I'm gonna change this in SM mode once we get in here. Now let's set our themes here. System themes will do. Oh shit! I did real star system. Well, I didn't want to do it. It'll be fine. We'll do real star systems. I like because I'd like to see. I like to play with. All right, you know what? No, we're gonna. Sorry, guys. We're gonna create yet another game because this is not. I forgot to click an option here that I want to do. New game. Actually, let's not do that, but let's delete this game. All right. All right, for real this time. Okay, uncheck known star systems. We'll start this up in 2050 and create. Hey, Sir Beardian. Yeah. Okay, so once again, for the third time, Terran Directorate. Okay, so as I was saying, 2040s, asteroid comes, the world can't get its act together, and we kind of fail to take care of it adequately. The result of which is an asteroid strike, which kind of devastates the world, both obviously in terms of immediate casualties, subsequent casualties because the climate is disrupted, the food chain collapses, and what emerges from that is, a group of resilient survivors who are sick and tired of the old ways, the old politics of the old world, which, led to this epic fail where we weren't able to kind of collaborate and get things done that needed to get done. So here, let's pick... actually, I like system theme, Nations of Earth. We're going to do that. Although it's oddly inappropriate in this case if we're so not thrilled about the old way of doing things. Class themes, let's see. Let's pick... Terran Federation is okay. What's one that I haven't done in a long time? Progressor, yeah, it's got a picture. There's a single picture in this game. All right, I'm gonna do Terran Federation. We might do custom names here for some of these ships. Okay, rank theme. We're actually gonna come up with our own ranks, so we'll change that up in just a moment. And name theme. Again, we're going to change this up. Okay, we're going to customize this a bit in our start. Hang on, let's just check our flag. Actually, this is not a terrible flag, but let's change the flag here. What's going on here? This looks cool. Let's do this one. Okay. Oh, this is not an excellent start. All right, guys, we're starting up with some nice error messages. You know what I'm going to do? I want to just do this again to see if we're going to get the same error messages, because I know it's like we keep trying. Let me just see if we're going to get the same messages if we repeat this. for the sake of bug testing. And we had just done Federation here. We're just being thorough. Okay, but let me keep. Oh, this is systems. Let me keep expanding on my headcanon here for the directorate. So what ends up happening is the survivors of the impact kind of regroup, and for the first few years it's just about survival. But some clever people discover these new, well, basically trans-Newtonian physics, right? And they discover these new elements that have been scattered across the planet thanks to this impactor, which was, destroyed into many pieces in orbit, which is why things are so spread out on the planet itself. Right? Let's see if this. Oh wait, well, let's do everything exactly the same. So some clever people discover TN physics, and using that technology, they're able to sort of jumpstart the human economy. All right, this time we're not getting those error messages, so that's good. So I think we'll go with this. We'll go with this version. So they're able to kind of re-jumpstart the human economy, and what that means is, there are at first far fewer resources available. Energy production. How do you create food? How do you restart industry? Well, using some of this crazy exotic material from the asteroid, thorium, they're able to find an amazing energy source, right? Burning thorium fuel, which is clean and it's amazing and, isn't going to cause any more global warming, all these things. Fantastic. They're able to fuel hydroponic, solutions because there's dust in the atmosphere, the sun isn't shining, you can't really farm a lot of food. So all of mankind's revival is fueled by this new TN science. So although this is a conventional start, we're gonna jumpstart the first year or two of it. So we're going to actually start with TN. With some base. Hang on, did I not do a conventional? God damn it, guys. Nobody told me. All right. That's why there weren't any issues. I promise, guys, this is the last time. So I thought I clicked it, but obviously I didn't. Clackety clack clack clack. Okay, so what we're gonna start with is basically a conventional start, but with TN technology researched, and we're gonna modify a bit the starting sort of infrastructure and stuff that we have. But that's basically gonna be it. So, but the main reason for coming up with this backstory isn't so much defining the starting conditions, but it's to define our motivations for doing things, right? So the way the directorate functions is kind of like a meritocracy, right? The idea is, let's not repeat the mistakes of the past. Let's try to keep politics out of it, right? Let's actually try to be the best that we can be as a human species, right? And allow the best to flourish. Naming theme, what am I doing here? English. Again, we'll change all of these things in a moment. But that doesn't mean that we are completely free from, our past demons. So one of the myths or conspiracies that endures to the present is the notion that this asteroid that came out of nowhere was in fact caused by some unknown evil alien force, right? That was trying to take us out before we became like a dominant space power or something like that. And this enduring belief is going to fuel our approach to space exploration, which is going to be very paranoid. We are going to have an approach which is going to be fairly conservative in that we are not going to push the boundaries of known space aggressively. We are going to make use of all the resources that we can within the solar system, and only out of pure necessity will we try to expand. And when we do expand, it'll be very carefully, terrified that we're going to run into these aliens that tried to wipe us out. Now, maybe in the future, that can turn into sort of aggression and us wanting to, you know, root out the aliens where we found them. So that could be an interesting twist in the future. But at first, that's going to mean, when we're not going to just boldly jump into a neighboring system. We're going to send out probes and maybe stealth ship or with thermal dissipation or things like that, right? So I want to come up with a reason why I should care about using some of these weird technologies that we never end up using in normal games. That's the thinking behind that. Okay, there we go. This is the start we wanted. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to instance Trans-Newtonian Tech. And that's like pretty much it. Okay. But what I want to do is we're going to start with already having switched over to TN industry here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add, not automated mines. So we're going to add construction factories. Let's say we have like 500. We're going to add, so what's happened is now it's 2050. In the last 10 years, we've gone from like utter devastation, the discovery of TN technology, which in literally 2 years has completely reinvented our economy and our industry, our food capacity, things like that. So we've just kind of finished doing that. We've set up all these mines across the world. Let's say 300. Now we haven't created much in terms of, let's see, maintenance facilities. Would we even have any? No. Right? Why would we have any maintenance facilities? I mean, I could see, we're not a militaristic organization, but there's probably some like remaining national armies that have survived that this new directorate has had to kind of bring into the fold. So we'll have like a couple of maybe garrison detachments. So it would kind of make sense to have a military construction complex, an academy. This is fine. Research facility is fine. A spaceport, we could say that that's one of our latest additions, is that we've set up our industry, but now that we've discovered the marvels of all these new TN elements, the question becomes, well, we're going to run out. All that we have is what fell from the skies during the impact. Now we need to go and develop the technology to search for these minerals elsewhere in the solar system, and obviously mine them and extract them to fuel, the rest of our development. Another twist to this is, actually, one thing I do want to start with is I think it makes sense that in order to kind of clean the atmosphere from the garbage that we put into it and also from the dust from the impactor, that we would have built a number of like terraforming installations. So obviously right now they're not doing anything on Earth, but these could be exported to colonies on Luna and Mars. It would make sense that we would have that infrastructure on hand because we had to scrub the atmosphere and clean things up. So that's another thing I wanted to get us started with. Okay, I don't think in terms of role play we have a reason to have maybe we have some financial centers as we're starting to get our economy started again. Not much though, but I'll start with a few. And I think fuel refineries would also be appropriate. Like I see this as sort of like our energy sector, but just pretty moderate amounts of this stuff. If I realize that I forgot something, I can come back and add it retroactively. But that is pretty much it. So the point at which we start here, let me just catch up with chat here because you guys have been writing a bunch of stuff. Your hybrid start? What's your hybrid start? Sir Beardian. You just mean like doing a conventional start, but researching TN Tech? Yeah, Minuteman Zero. We're just getting started with a brand new campaign here. But this is not. There's not much of a start because this is basically a conventional start. We just give ourselves a tiny bit of a boost here. Let's do a few. There's a bit of housekeeping that we need to do. We need to set our themes here. Oh, actually, I like these designs here. Let's do the theme names. Conventional plus Tiantec. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, I mean, that's what. I mean, it seems like a pretty. All it does is it shaves off like 2 years from the start. Where you don't have to research the Tiantec, and it's just a little less micro. Okay, let's add. Hang on, let's modify. Let's get this to like 10%, and we're just going to go down and we're going to gonna add a whole bunch of. Oh, no, I wanted to make them all about 10%. English we did here. Let's get some. Bit of international flavor here. Let's go here. Russian. There are survivors from all over the world that are part of this. It's not a good. There's not like a Xhosa, but we'll do Zulu. Let's do Chinese. How many do we have? We can do one more. Indian. All right, there we go. Done. Okay, now let's go to commanders. And let's rename all the commanders according to the latest theme. Oh, we don't need Space Master anymore. Let's make sure that worked. Yep, looks good. Yeah, okay. All right, let's just take a quick look at our civilian administrators. Pick somebody to be the governor of Earth. So I think early on we'd be looking at production mostly. So this is not a bad choice, 25% production. This has mining, wealth creation, logistics. This is actually not bad too, but not quite as good production. 15%. Oh, 15% production and mining. Population growth. So let's see. We had 25 production here, but that was it. Here we have 15% production and mining. And then here we had one that had a mix, mining, but also wealth and logistics and shipbuilding. Let's go with Taylor Brooks here, who has many talents. Let's do that. Oh right, I said we were going to start with some kind of ground garrison. So let's do that quickly. Let's just design some really cheap. I don't even know what we have in terms of capability here. This would be. I mean, I always do like 5K size. So we'll see if we can make that happen here. 5K infantry HQ, avoid combat. We're just gonna get this as our starting stuff. Let me just prototype these out real quick so we'd have small logistics infantry. Logistics infantry. And then we could have like just a very standard like ground infantry. And then maybe we have some light vehicle AA. And some light vehicle anti-tank. This is kind of like a conventional army here. And so let's put together garrison, GAR, RI. I don't know. I feel like that's spelled wrong. Okay, and this would have like 2 of these. And I don't know, 10 of these. 10 of those. Probably like, I forget, maybe 700. We're going to need 2 of these. At least, yeah. And let's get a few more here. Let's edit these 20. Yeah, there we go. We need to take away $28, so it needs to be 672. Good. There we go. Okay, let's just say we have 2 of these. Already. Okay, so that bit of micro is done. Yeah, but, sorry, so that's true. You can, if you're looking for a specific skill set, you can just select them here from the drop downs. And it's true, there's 4, so it'll sort by the order of all 4 of them. But I still wanted to look at all of our civilian administrators. So, and there's not that many because it's a conventional start. So I was just going through manually. But yeah, you can definitely, do like production, mining, I don't know, shipbuilding, right? We could have done it like this. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this guy for now. Okay, so where we pick up in the story, the directorate. Oh wait, sorry, one more thing. We need to do the ranks again. I'd like to rename. Actually, well, yeah, let's rename the ranks. I want them to be. I want them to be on topic. So I had come up with something a long time ago. Let's see if I remember it. It was something like A specialist. Oh, now we need the abbreviations. We'll do that. Then I had like an operative. Then we had a something like about it would be like a division leader or something like that. Above that, we would have like no, like I think we'll be higher, like a division or like a sector. I think sector is more like geographical, but it could be like a concept. I think let's see, sector. Commander. These people here are like more like in charge of, you know, big picture things. So beyond sector commander, we would have I'm kind of making these up as I go along, but I'm trying to come up with something that, you know, like we tend to be very bureaucratic in our naming schemes. So like, you know, you have the specialists, the operatives, they're doing the work, but then you have like, you know, a division, you've got like a sector. I think you have maybe like a district. All right, hey everybody. Sorry, I'm back, but I'm actually unfortunately gonna have to cut the stream short. Something's come up in real life, as they say, which I gotta take care of this morning. But let me finish by saying, oh yeah, they sound like ground ranks. Well, I see this as more of a So I see this as more of an administrative hierarchy, not purely a naval thing, because we don't have, like, I'm guessing, like, we do have civilian administrators, but they don't really have. I guess we could come up with naming schemes for this too. I'll think about this a bit more. And I agree, district administrator is more of a civilian thing. I'll come up I'll think with my spare brain cycles during the morning. I'll come up with some of these better naval commanders. I had a list that I had made a while ago that I wanted to use with the directorate, so I think I'll try to dig that up somewhere. Anyways, we'll finish fleshing out the RP for this campaign, and I think I'm going to try to start this up again this afternoon. But I'm sorry, I have to go and handle a few things this morning. Sorry to cut the stream short, and for just starting off with such a tease. But yeah, we'll be back later. Thank you guys for hopping on and for suggestions, and I'll catch up with you guys later. So take care.